this new video, we will detail together step by step the configuration and the activation of a Fiori application. For our example, we will use the Fiori application technical object damage. I enter here the name of the Fiori application in the search and I press on the application. After a few minutes of wait, we can see that the application is not starting. We have now to configure and to install the application in question. First thing to do is to find the application in question on the Fiori reference app library. This feature will allow you to discover the features of the application but also the technical instructions of its implementation and configuration. I will use here the search help in order to find our technical object damage Fiori application. So this is our application. I will select it. In order to know how to activate it, let's go to the implementation information tab right here. In the implementation section here, you will find the recommended version here, for example for the front-end components, product version SAP Fiori S/4HANA 2020, and here for the backend components, the production version SAP S/4HANA 2020. These information are directly updated according to what you selected in the header of the application. We can see that this Fiori application is available from the SAP S/4HANA 1809 version until the 2021. And according to which version you select here, you will have an update on the front-end and back-end components required. Let's select, for example, the S/4HANA 2021 version. If we select this version, then you can see that the product version for the front-end and back-end components have been updated. So here, product version for the front-end components, SAP S/4HANA 2021, and here the same for the back-end components. You will be able to find your SAP configuration and product version directly from the SAP GUI. In order to check it, you will have to log in SAP and press on the top menu, System, and then Status. Then, on this pop-up, you will have here a part, SAP System Data, and you will have here a product version, and you must click on this button, Display Details. On this list, then you will have to jump on the second tab, Installed Product Versions, in order to see which one has been activated or is available from your SAP system. We can see that here, from our example, we are here in the SAP Fiori S/4HANA 2020 release, and here for the product version SAP Fiori for S/4HANA 2020. So this is our product version. We will be able to use the Fiori application available in the 2020 S/4HANA version. We are back on the Fiori apps reference library. Now we have to go in the configuration part right here. Here we will have to perform three different operations. The first one is to activate the ICF node. ICF stands for Internet Communication Framework. It is a programming interface, or more commonly used as API, and it is used by ABAP programs to communicate with the Internet. By default, and for security reasons, ICF services and nodes are available but disabled. It is therefore necessary here to activate the corresponding node of our application. In our case, we will have to activate and enable this node, ICF node, present in the column Path to ICF node. So the next step is to activate and enable this node directly within the SAP GUI. In order to activate an ICF node, we will have to use the transaction code SICF. Then we can press enter. In this define services initial screen, we can enter here in the service path field directly the ICF node we get from the Fiori apps reference library. We will directly jump into this specific node in order to activate it. Then we can press execute. So here you can see the structure which is already opened with our service. So this is the service we are looking for. So you can see here the service path. This is the main folder. This is the sub folder here, BC. This is the sub folder, UI5 underscore UI5, right here. Then SAP, here. And then our service. So here, this is our services which must be activated in order to be able to use our Fiori application. So here, if your service is not activated, you must activate it with a right click on it and press activate service. You will be able to activate it if it is in a gray color, but here in our case it is already black, means that the service is already enabled. We are back in the Fiori apps reference library. The second operation is to activate the OData service. So it's this part. Here we will have to activate the service in order to make the communication of the data between the SAP database and the Fiori application. You can find the name of the OData service to activate for your application in the Fiori apps reference library directly. In our case, you can see right here in the OData service column our service we must activate in order to be able to use the Fiori application. To be able to activate OData service within SAP, we will have to use the transaction code right here present in my favorites, IWFND/MAINT_service. So this is the application or transaction in order to be able to activate and disable OData services. I will double click on it in order to start the transaction. On this table, you can recover all the enabled and activated OData services. We will not be able to find our service in this list because our service is not already enabled. That's why our Fiori application is not functional. Our goal is here to add the service. In order to be able to add the OData service, we need to press the Add Service button right here in the top menu. Then, on this screen, you just have to paste here in the technical service name field the OData service code and press and check the co-deployed checkbox. Then you can press enter. SAP automatically recovers the service right here in the result table. You need to press one time on it. This pop-up will be load, and here you will have to select a transport request or use your local object. Then you can press enter in order to add the service. This is an information message from SAP, and it tells that this service was created and its metadata was loaded successfully. We can now recover our service in the previous list. The third and last operation is the assignment of the roles necessary to use the Fiori application. We are here back in the Fiori reference app library, and in here the configuration section, you will find on the bottom all the business roles required in order to use the Fiori application. So the goal is to now assign one of these roles to the user who needs to use the Fiori technical object damage application. In order to be able to add a new role to an SAP user, we will have to use the transaction code SU01. So this is the user maintenance initial screen. On this screen, you will have to enter the SAP username of the person you would like to add the authorizations. Then, please press the Change button. We will have to go in the Roles tab. So this is the list of all the roles that this user has access to. And here you will just need to copy paste one of the following roles we get directly in the Fiori reference app library. Press enter. So here you can see that this role is already assigned to the user. We do not need to add it one more time. So we can just delete it, press enter one more time, and if required and if you made some changes, please press the save button in order to save your modifications. We are now back in Fiori and we must now be able to launch and use the Fiori application technical object damage. So let's enter the application right here and press enter. So you can see that we are now directly in the application technical object damage. The application is therefore functional. So this is how to configure and install a Fiori application.